Job Hunting
101.
Providing you with the tools you need in your job search. Job Hunting
101.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into Networking, Building Relationships as a part of our Job Hunting 101 series. My name is Judy Dorsey, Program Coordinator for Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance. Finding a job in this economy can be tough, but if you know where to look, it can be successful. The best way to find the job is not only through looking on employflorida.com or the newspaper, it's through meeting other people. Now I'll let our panelists introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Jareen Dotson. I work for National Louis University as a corporate liaison. I'm an accredited human resource professional. I've worked in HR in the Tampa Bay area for the last 30 years. And I'm also an alum of National Louis University. National Louis was founded by Elizabeth Harrison 125 years ago as a college for teachers. And we've also expanded into colleges for business and social science. We have a campus here in Tampa, and it's my job to raise the visibility of NLU in the Tampa Bay area.
Hi, my name is Rob Cunningham. I'm with a national security company, and I'm on the board of directors for Carewood Area Business Association. CAB has been around 27 plus years, has over 350 members, and I've made a career off networking and business relationships. And I'm excited to be here, and I thank the panelists for including me.
Great, and I'm excited for you both to be here. I myself met you both through networking, so happy to be sitting with you and having these conversations on what we could teach other applicants. Well, the main thing we want to start with is, what is networking? You know, we know that it's building relationships, but what is it to a lot of other people?
From my perspective, as you mentioned, networking is all about building relationships. So it's really important to put yourself out there, introduce yourself, and really establish relationships with your community. It's about defining your community, Absolutely. Whether it's the folks that you currently know or the markets that you want to target going into.
Robert?
Couldn't agree more. Networking is talking to your friends, your neighbors, your relatives. If you're looking for a job or you're looking to get the word out about what it is you do, you know, we all know about 50 people in our contact sphere. If everybody at this table talked to the same 50 people, their own individual 50 people, that broadens your search net, if you will. So you're going from 50 to 100. If all three of us did it, that's 150. In its finest, simplest form, that's networking to me. I would like to go ahead and remind our viewers that work is part of the word. So it's not something where you go one time and, wow, we've got all this business, or I've got all these relationships. You've got to put time into it. You've got to put effort into it. And most importantly, you've got to have your heart and soul behind it. Because if you don't believe it, how are they going to believe it?
So why? Why is it one of the best ways to find employment?
Well, believe it or not, about 80% of the jobs don't even get advertised. So as a job seeker, what you want to do is you want to tap into that underground job market and hopefully establish relationships with the hiring decision makers, whether it be the hiring managers or it be somebody that works in HR or somebody that simply knows about business that's expanding, or somebody has a new contract. That's the kind of business intelligence information that you want to gather to help you with your networking as you look for a job.
Couldn't agree again more. I don't have a panelist here that agrees on every subject, but you know, when you're out there and you're trying to network, the effort and the passion and the excitement that you bring to that is going to show. And sometimes when we go and do a search online or we pull out the newspaper, where do you start? I mean, you've got pages and pages, or you've got online sites. There's so many of them out there. How do I start? You know, is the job going to be right for me? And you don't have that human interaction. When you're out there networking and you're talking to somebody, like Jareen said, you're going to find opportunities that you didn't realize were there because your search is narrowed a little bit more. It isn't always the end user that's there to help you. You know, when a company is looking, they'll tell their friends and neighbors, hey, I'm looking for this type of person. They may not be a tech background, they may not be a trade background, but this is what I'm looking for. Tell your friends and neighbors. And that type of look or that type of search is something that could be talked about through many different generations of conversations. So in my opinion, you uncover stuff that you wouldn't necessarily see on the surface.
Robert, I heard you mention family members, friends. Who else? Who else are those that can be in the network or that you would want to be able to network with in order to get that opportunity?
Well, we mentioned what Jareen does and who I'm affiliated with, Carrollwood Area Business Association. Business professional associations and chambers of commerces and networking communities. These are a bunch of business professionals that get together on a regular basis and try and help each other grow their businesses. It's also an opportunity for those looking for work to find those businesses that are hiring. So I would go to a Chamber of Commerce event, absolutely, positively. Go to a CABA event, plug. I don't want to plug my association that I'm affiliated with too much, but it certainly has helped me a great deal in getting business and helping others find work. And when it comes to business professionals, how can you help others? Everybody you talk to, hey, are you guys hiring? Yeah, my cousin's looking for work. So you never know where that conversation is going to lead. And I think as a business professional who's out there every day talking to businesses, that's the exciting part for me. Absolutely. The joy of helping somebody find a job when they're in a tough spot. We've all been there. And for anybody to say they haven't, they're crazy. I've been there, and I know what it's like to wonder where that next paycheck's coming from, or how am I going to feed the kids, how am I going to pay the mortgage or the rent. So it's a joy to help people who need help.
Absolutely. Jareen?
Well, I would echo what Bob said. Look at your community network that you have established already. So look to your church, look to your school, look to your partner's employment, look to your neighborhood association, look to the library, your city government, chambers. I'm a member of the West Shore Business Alliance, and folks go there for the purpose of networking. The internet is a great resource today. You can go to meetup groups for a variety of subjects that you might be interested in, or careers that you're interested in. And LinkedIn, Twitter, any of the social media sites are another opportunity for you to reach out and introduce yourself to folks.
Yeah, simply going to dinner with a friend is one way to network. You may not have seen them in a while, and you catch up with them. You kind of catch up on old times, and then you come out with what your needs are at that point. So that's another great way. Job fairs, again, are another good way as well. So great opportunity.
And remember too, you guys, you're out in the public. A good friend of mine had just got a job offer for 3 times his current salary. He's employed, but he went to a baseball game and was talking to his friend about his job and an opportunity that, quite frankly, he didn't get.
Wow.
The guy sitting behind him has a big, huge company, offered him an operations job as a vice president. Had he not gone to the baseball game with his buddy and had he not talked about it, he would never gotten that job offer. I'm excited for him, I'm proud of him, I'm happy for him. But again, you never know where that question or that conversation is going to turn. And you never know who may be listening. The waiter may have an uncle who's looking to hire you. Who knows? Until you bring it up. But I would say this, in anything you do, putting the word out there, putting the conversation out there is just simply the first step. And that's why, in my opinion, networking is so powerful and so effective. But you got to put the word out.
So Jareen, what are some tips that we can give to those that are wanting to put themselves out there? Some think it may be an aggressive way to approach trying to find a job, but what do we say to them? How do we give them the tips that they need to go out there and start networking?
Well, different people are comfortable in different situations. Some people are very comfortable in a group setting, going to a social event and networking. Some people are more comfortable with a one-on-one type situation. So identify where your strengths are. If you do want to go to an event, sometimes it helps to take a partner with you, a friend, and just make sure that you don't only hang with that person for the entire networking event, which, that can happen very often. So you want to be prepared to introduce yourself. I want to give a plug also for the local job clubs that WorkNet Pinellas and Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance conduct. It's a great resource to go to those job clubs. You're meeting people that work in different industries, different positions. Everybody's sharing job leads. There's a career counselor that's there that facilitates the meeting. It kind of helps you have some accountability in your job search. Volunteer organizations, again, just kind of make a list of all the different touch points that you have in your life. And then I guess the second point is to try to create some structure for it. Absolutely. Because as Bob mentioned, you know, looking for a job is a job. So you want to create some goals and some structure and give yourself some accountability on how many meetings you're going to go to a week, how many people you're going to contact, you know, how you're going to follow up with those folks. That would be my recommendation, is to start with a plan.
Yes. Yeah.
Amen. I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, you just took the words right out of my mouth. Having a plan and picking the right co-pilot. You know, if you've got a friend who's going to goof off and have fun and enjoy the food and the atmosphere and not really take it seriously, then I recommend you don't bring that individual. But certainly you want to have a co-pilot and a big time a plan. You know, anything in life that you do, if you don't have a plan and a structure and an idea and a follow through, you're not going to be successful. You take sports athletes. Everybody follows sports. Everybody knows sports. Michael Jordan had a plan to be the best basketball player of all time. Most people don't know or have never been told he got cut from his high school basketball team. And he's a guy who didn't take no for an answer and fought and trained and got better and better and better. And in my opinion, he achieved the goal. But certainly without a plan, you're kind of wandering aimlessly.
What about communicating? What is there anything you could say about how you communicate when you're actually networking, in terms of how do you put it out there that you're looking for an opportunity that may not be the person that you're looking to get the job with, but through? So how do you communicate that? What's the best way?
Well, for starters, look the part.
Okay.
You know, you certainly want to dress professional.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be in a suit and tie, but you want to dress professional. You want to have resumes at the ready. You don't want to just run up and hand them to them, but you want to go ahead and have the resume ready. You want to have the right attire. You want to have the right approach. You want to, basically, in my opinion, you want to follow what the person is you're talking. If they're real outgoing and gregarious and they're saying, hey, how can I help you? Then you want to go ahead and follow that lead. If they're a little bit reserved, then you kind of want to back off a little bit, because the last thing you want to do is scare somebody off or upset somebody. But certainly the approach, certainly how you look, certainly the resume, and most important, be honest.
Yes.
You know, if you don't have the trade or the training to be an engineer, don't tell somebody you're looking to be an engineer.
Absolutely.
If you want to, you know,
be honest about what you're putting out there in order for them to honestly help you, right? Absolutely.
Tell them what this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Okay. What about things to have aside from the resume? Are cards important? You know, a lot of job seekers, you know, some of them typically don't have cards unless it's through a company that they're currently working for. What do you think about creating cards?
I think personal business cards are very important. They've almost become, you can almost use them like a resume, as a matter of fact. So you can put more than just your name and address and email and phone number on it. You can actually put what your area of expertise is while you're looking for a job. You never know, there might be some consulting or contracting type jobs that you could tap into. And so therefore, when you give the person a card, it's a good way for that person to remember, you know, what your area of expertise is and what area you're looking for. In addition, when you have a card, it's a good way to exchange getting a card from that person. So I can't tell you the number of job fairs that I've gone to and asked the person, do you have a card? And they're like, no, I don't have a card, I have a resume. Well, everything's online these days. So I would much prefer that we exchange cards. That way I can reach out to them over email, they can reach out to me over email, they can send their resume to me over email, and then I have a little resume file that I keep on file. Whenever job opportunities come up, I go to that file to look to see who's in the market. So I think business cards are a great investment. I think there's companies out there where you can get them for free, as a matter of fact, or for a very nominal cost. I think it's one of the most important business tools that you can use when you're looking for a job.
And go ahead and piggyback on what you said, 100% agree with all that. When you receive their card, you can scribble notes on it. This is where we met, this is who they are, this is what they may have to offer, or they said to talk to so-and-so. And I don't think it's out of the question to go ahead and follow up with them with an email to say, thank you for your time, I really enjoyed meeting you and talking to you, please keep me in mind if anything crops up. You never know. You never know down the road.
Which is one of the tips that they also give you. Don't be a hit and run networker. You definitely want to follow up with that person, let them know how that lead went, you know, keep that communication going. So that's definitely important. What else? When? When should they go? You know, should it be right when they are looking, or what are some tips on, you know, what is the right time to go and start networking?
Well, I think another word, as you had mentioned early on in the introduction for networking, is building relationships. So we should always be building relationships. And going back to the principles of Stephen Covey, you're always putting dimes in that emotional bank account. And you need to build that bank account up before you can start taking withdrawals. So you don't want to, you know, show up for these professional association meetings just when you want something. You want to be giving back all the time. And so, and it may or may not come back to you. If it does, that's wonderful. But by all means, you know, be building relationships all the time, because you never know when that person's going to either have a job available, or they'll hear of something, or they'll be able to introduce you to someone that has a job available.
Absolutely.
Very good point.
Yes.
Very good point. And that's part of the reason why when I've been networking for the last 10 years in this community, I've been asked at times to be in a leadership position. And I've done that. And it's my way to say thank you and give back, because at my career, I'm the #1 rep in the country and have been 6 straight years. Of my 10 total, I've been #1 8, #2 twice. The group that I'm in, CABA, as well as a few others over the years, have contributed amazingly and bigger than words can explain. So certainly you want to go in with the right frame of mind and the right approach and the giver's gain mentality. I'm here to help you guys. But in the job search, I would just go ahead and say, look, you've got to go now. To wait, you're going to procrastinate, and it's not going to happen. And I'm guilty, like everybody else is in the world, of saying, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And next thing you know, it's weeks, it's months, it's years, and you're still looking. So, you know, certainly encouraged to get up off the couch, go out there and search out a career that works for you.
Absolutely. So what's your advice to them? What should they know in talking with the person they're networking with? What is the first thing they should be able to say? You know, and I'm probably giving it away, but talk about themselves. Right. You know, what are some tips that you could give them in being able to talk about themselves? You know, there's the infamous elevator speech. You know, is that something that's still important for them to know? How should they approach that and still be normal, not feel nervous to, you know, kind of put that deed out there in the beginning versus having a normal conversation first?
Well, I think the elevator speech is very important. You know, the term elevator speech comes from if you happen to meet somebody in an elevator and you want to have the opportunity to introduce yourself and leave them with a memorable message, you've got about 30 seconds to do it while you're riding down the elevator. So it is something that is important. You want to make sure that, of course, you give the person your name, and you want to give them something memorable to remember you by. And then also a follow-up question is helpful to engage that person in conversation.
Right. Should they ask for the job, Rob?
Yeah, I'm a guy who believes in honesty, maybe a little bluntness. So yeah, if there's a job out there, you want to ask for at least the sit down, the opportunity. Who can I speak to about this? Who can I bring my resume to? Or who do you recommend I have a conversation with? So I don't see a problem with that. I don't see an issue with that. Some people I may turn off, but I believe that, you know, it shows an eagerness. And Coach John Wooden, the UCLA famous basketball coach, 10 national championships, asked what type of player he looked for, how was he able to find all the talent, said, I'm not looking for talent. I'm looking for somebody who's eager to learn. And I can help coach them up and get them to learn how to be better basketball players. But if they don't have that initial eagerness, he's not interested. So I think it shows a lot about someone's character and qualities if you, hey, yeah, I would like to have a conversation.
What are some advantages and some pointers that you might be able to give for using social media in networking?
First of all, I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn has taken the place of the old-fashioned Rolodex that we used to have on our desks.
Yes.
That was continuously out of date. I remember having to go through my Rolodex and call everybody once a year to find out if they were still at that number, what's their current email, where are they working. Now, it's almost like you don't even need a business card. I mean, we talked about earlier how important that is, but as far as remembering where people are and what their email and what their phone number is, I just go to LinkedIn and I pop in their name and say, hey, you got time for a call? Can I email you? You know, what's your current email these days? So LinkedIn is very important for maintaining your contacts. It's also important for building relationships. So if you're looking for a job, I have a friend that's in the market and we met. I connected her with someone else over LinkedIn, so I did the email introduction over LinkedIn. And now when she's looking for a job, depending on the employer she's going to be interviewing with, she'll look at my LinkedIn connections to see if I know anybody there, so I can make an introduction for her. And the same with this other person that I introduced her to. So LinkedIn is very important. Also pay attention to the profile that you have out there. Just like anything that you might research when you're first starting, there's lots of websites out there that will teach you how to create your LinkedIn profile so that it maximizes its effectiveness. Yes. And one recommendation I have for folks, and LinkedIn is not set up this way, but put your credentials and put what you're looking for in your name line. Right. And that way, every time you like something on LinkedIn or if you update your profile, your name, your credentials, and your job title,
you want to keep it professional,
continues to appear. Yes. So you're reinforcing that message with folks.
Absolutely.
You know, I would add on social media, it's just another opportunity. I mean, when I started in sales many years ago, back when the dinosaurs were roaming, I was told that, hey, you need to have buckets, and as many buckets as you can search in, the more business you're going to find in sales.
Yes.
So, you know, networking is one bucket, newspapers is another bucket, internet sites for job search is another bucket, and then you have social media. As business continues to evolve and implement with the computer and interface with that type of online setting, it's going to be paramount. It's going to be everything in the future. You know, I see a day where perhaps there isn't the human interface or the human touch, and social media completely takes over. So I see the value of it, and I understand that in a job search, it could be pivotal. It could make that connection you need. So again, try and fill all those buckets, and you'll have a good job search.
Very pivotal. What is your pointers on using Facebook, Twitter, things like that? Is there etiquette for that, and you know what you put out there, because employers are looking at that as a part of their search in applicants. So what advice can you give to our viewers in using those other social media sites?
I would say the most important consideration is to keep it professional. What folks need to realize is that their social media imprint is going to be out there forever. So whatever pictures, whatever comments, whatever website you're going on is leaving an internet trail for recruiters to look at when they're out there looking at potential candidates, and they might be judging you based on the information that you've put out there on your social media website. So from a very early age, you know, high school, folks need to start thinking about their personal branding and the legacy that they're leaving in the internet world on how people are going to judge them as they grow up. Mm-hmm.
And that is so big and so important. I have kids with my daughter, and she's in college right now, and she's a smart gal, and she does very, very well at the University of Florida. But you just hit on a very big mistake that could be made in a job search. A social media site that isn't done right, or comments are made, or political opinions are given, that could make the difference. It could break the difference too.
What are some mistakes that you can make in networking?
Well, I think one of the mistakes you can make is not following up. So when you make a connection with a person, As I mentioned, one of my volunteer activities is reviewing resumes at job fairs. And so I'll be talking with candidates and offer for them to link with me on LinkedIn. And this is like a free networking referral source for them. And invariably, I have very few people that take me up on that offer. So follow-up, I think, is very important in building relationships and maintaining those relationships.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd piggyback along what Doreen said and say that assassin or hitmen or hit women networking. When you go in there and you're saying, hey, I'm so-and-so and I'm looking for this job, thank you very much, and you don't try and make the connection. You don't try and listen to what they have to offer, who they are, because you never know when you're going to help them and pay it forward. So the person that makes a major mistake, in my opinion, is someone who makes the first impression of, it's about me. It's all about me. It's not about helping you. It's not about returning a favor down the road. That type of, hey, here's my information, thanks, see ya. Here's my information, thanks, see ya. Here's my information, thanks, see ya. Kind of a hit and run or a hitman, and that just turns people off, I think. So I think the best approach would be take an interest, have an actual conversation, find out who they are and what they're about, and find out how you can help them. And be genuine. These are some simple tips, I think, that would go a long way in helping that job search.
Yeah. We all know in the job search, sometimes it can be economically, tough to go to some places publicly to try and network. It does, some places do cost. What are some no-cost places that you may know of that job seekers can go and network, and still get the same, degree of networking capabilities?
There's so many opportunities out there for free networking. Most groups will allow you to come at least twice without joining the group, because networking group wants visitors. They want that fresh blood to come in there and invigorate and excite the membership, and they're constantly looking for new members. So most quality groups will allow you to come multiple times without paying a dime. If there's a high cost, then try somewhere else. There's so many opportunities out there. A simple Google search, free networking or networking events, or
and most job fairs are free.
Absolutely.
At this point. So
absolutely.
Definitely, that's one good lead as well. Doreen, what do you think?
Well, if you're targeting your professional associations, depending upon what area you're working on, if it's human resources or marketing or accounting, a lot of them will waive their professional association dues while you're in the job market. So it's their way of paying back also, so that you continue to be linked in with the association. In the event when you do get a job, then you'll continue to come as a member. In addition to that, sometimes you can volunteer with these professional associations. I know myself, when I've been in between jobs, I might volunteer at a conference, be part of the planning committee, and then I can attend the conference for free. So it's a way of giving back. I have more time. I stay connected with my network. I don't have to pay to attend the conference, and I'm also increasing my knowledge at the same time, my job knowledge, while I'm in between jobs.
Well, thank you so much, Rob, for being here. Jareen, thank you so much for sharing your personal networking stories, as well as tips for us as well. And thank you to the viewers for watching the Job Hunting Series 101, Networking, Building Relationships. Thank you so much.